So let us continue with OWASP top 10 attacks. In the last lecture, we saw the first 5 top 10 OWASP attacks, and now in this lecture, we will explore the remaining attacks. A6. Security misconfiguration. Using misconfiguration vulnerabilities like unvalidated inputs, parameter tampering, improper error handling, insufficient transport layer protection, etc., attackers gain unauthorized access to default accounts, unused pages, read-write unprotected files and directories, and many more. Security misconfiguration can occur at any level of application stack, including the platform, web server, application server, framework, and custom code. What are unvalidated inputs? It refers to a web application vulnerability where input from a client is not validated before being processed by a web applications and backend server. What is parameter tampering? It involves manipulation of parameters like price, tags, or sessions exchanged between client and server in order to modify application data. Improper error handling. It gives insight into source code such as logic flaws, default accounts, etc., and using the information received from error message, attacker can identify vulnerabilities for launching various web application attacks. The next is A7, that is cross-site scripting attack. You have heard of this term in many different hacking forums or blogs. So what is XSS? Cross-site scripting, that is XSS or CSS attacks, exploit vulnerabilities in dynamically generated web pages, which enables malicious attackers to inject client-side script into web pages viewed by other users. So if you are an attacker, you will inject a malicious code into that web browser or that web application, and whenever a legitimate user will open that web application, he can see your executed error message. Now, XSS occurs when invalidated input data is included in a dynamic content that is sent to the user's web browser for rendering. Attackers inject malicious JavaScript, VBScript, ActiveX, HTML, or Flash for execution on a victim's system by hiding it within legitimate requests. Some of the XSS attack exploitation include malicious script execution, redirecting to a malicious server, exploiting user privileges. Now, ads hidden in iframes and pop-ups are also XSS attacks. We will explore XSS attacks and practicals in this section. Where can you see XSS attacks? Well, you can see an XSS attack in emails, in blogs, in command fields, then websites which are vulnerable to XSS attacks and other things. A8. Insecure deserialization. Data serialization and data deserialization is an effective process of linearizing and delinearizing data objects in order to transport it to other network or systems. Attackers inject malicious code into serialized data and forward the malicious serialized data to the victim. Insecure deserialization deserializes the malicious serialized content along with the injected malicious code, compromising the system or network. The last or the second last is using components with known vulnerabilities. Now, components such as libraries and frameworks that are used in most of the web applications always execute with full privileges, and flaws in any component can result in serious impact. Attackers can identify components or dependencies by scanning or by performing manual analysis. For example, if you are developing an app and you want to insert a payment gateway to your app, you will not write an entire code to develop a payment gateway by yourself. You will hire or you will just get a plugin for a third-party payment gateway and then include it in your code. But what if that third-party payment gateway has already an exploit or a vulnerability? That is known as using components with known vulnerabilities. And the last of the OWASP top 10 vulnerabilities is insufficient logging and monitoring. Web applications maintain logs to track usage patterns such as user login credentials and admin logging credentials. Insufficient logging and monitoring refers to the scenario where the detection software either does not record the malicious event or ignores the important details about the event. Attackers usually inject, delete, tamper web applications to engage in malicious activities or hide their identities. Insufficient logging and monitoring vulnerability makes the detection of malicious attempts of the attacker more difficult and allowing the attacker to perform malicious attacks like brute forcing passwords to steal confidential passwords. Now, these are the OWASP top 10 vulnerabilities, but that does not mean that these are the only vulnerabilities present. Other vulnerabilities like directory traversal, denial of service, hidden field manipulation, platform exploits, cross-site request forgery, waterhole attacks, broken session management, network access attacks, cookie snooping, and many more. You name it and you get a vulnerability for that attack. So basically, these are the most common attacks and therefore they are being listed as the top 10 attacks by OWASP. OWASP is an open source free organization which provides pen testing methodologies. Then it also provides tutorials, various books, and a framework to carry out a proper web application penetration testing. So, in the next lecture, we will see how to footprint a website using different tools such as Whois, Built With, Crunchbase, and others. So, in short, from the next lecture, we'll be starting web application penetration testing practicals.